Hey everybody, Matty Ice here, and in today's video I'm going to take you through the reprised Whisper of the Worm exotic mission. Now if you're not familiar with how this works, it's in the new tab here for Into the Light. Go ahead and click on that Whisper mission. It should only be available after you talk to Eris, but it'll direct you that way. For this, I like to run something that's good for crowd control, like Azali's Bane. If you're going to run this, make sure you throw out a Taken spec because there's a lot of Taken enemies, and also a Sword with Eager Edge is always nice just to help get through this. The first half of this mission is purely platforming, so just keep that in mind. As you go through the beginning, you'll notice these little boxes. You can shoot them and they spawn some platforms that just help you navigate some of the platforming sections. They're not necessary, but they are helpful. Now I'm going to let this play with minimal commentary just so you can learn the path, and I'll jump in every now and then to help give you some guidance. Otherwise, I'd greatly appreciate if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel. With that being said, I will hop back in later. Now when you get to the area here where it tells you to drift, you want to go to the far right side. It's the one on the top. And that's going to lead you into this big open green room. And this is one of the things that if you're an OG, you'll remember you have to platform all the way up and around the outside here. And that drops you down a giant hole, basically, all the way at the top. But what you can do now is as soon as you enter this room, you can turn around and there's a little shortcut you can kind of sneak through. So where this little blinking light is, right next to that entrance you came in, just crouch and you'll be able to go through. You'll even see the hole that it would drop you in normally if you were to come down the old-fashioned way. Up there seems to be an oracle spawn, but otherwise you don't have to go up there at all. So we'll revisit that later when we go over the oracles. The oracles seem to be time-gated, so we're not really going to talk about those too much here. And that leads us into the actual encounter portion of this, I would call it. You have to start defeating enemies and all that, so switch off of your sword unless you want to run a sword for some reason. And what you have to do now is just defeat enemies and progress through the gates by shooting the little taken doors. You don't have to kill all the taken blights anymore. That's something that they got rid of. But you're going to do that for a couple rooms and you'll progress to this bigger open area where there's a bunch of snipers looking at you. Don't just run in like I did. There's 3 snipers that will kill you pretty quickly, so just keep that in mind. Once you've defeated all them, it's one more door to break through, and then you drop down into the final boss area. Keep in mind, they have removed the platform in the back that you could just sit out and camp. Now you have to actually go into the room and fight. Clearing out the initial wave of ads, you'll see 3 more boxes. Each of these boxes essentially contains a boss, so you can do them one at a time, or you can do all 3 and be a Giga Chad like I was here. And doing all 3 gets you a triumph, otherwise there's no real reason to do all 3 other than just to save some time. If you are solo and going for your flawless, I highly recommend doing this 1 at a time. 3 at a time can get very overwhelming. If you are having difficulty, on the right side of the room there's this little cave. You can duck in there. A few ads will come at you every now and then, but they're funneled into pretty narrow corridors, and it's pretty safe. So again, hop in here if you're having trouble. Otherwise, you're just defeating all the ads as quickly as possible. Once you've defeated the last boss, if you did all 3, you'll get your triumph. If not, you'll just progress to the next phase anyway. And in this one, it's a giant taken ogre, and it has an immune shield that you have to clear by defeating the 2 wizards on the side. Again, don't do what I did here and jump up there. Do it from a distance, otherwise the ogre will absolutely push you into Narnia. So keep that in mind, just take out the wizards, DPS the boss, bing bang boom, challenge done. Once you defeat the boss, you can collect your chest, and that is essentially it for this mission. There are a few other things you have to come back in for to upgrade your Whisper, just like all the other exotic missions. There's like bonus things and secret things you have to get the other attachments to unlock the intrinsic values and all those things. I will talk about that in a future video, about where you can specifically find those, but essentially you have to go in and kill some oracles, which are just glowing diamonds, not quite cubes, but like diamond shapes. So you just have to find those. There's other triumphs to do, and Eris is going to have recurring missions that unlock other perks on the weapon, so just keep in mind that also seems to be on a weekly rotation. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could like it and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.